Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to replace the charge port on this Lenovo Legion Y540-15irh. Alright, so first thing we're going to need is a J1 or JS1 screwdriver. We're going to remove all the screws from the bottom. You want to keep them in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. And the way I do that is I put them flat side down on my desk like this. In the pattern I remove them. Right, so we got 4 going across here, 3 going across here, and then 4 more going across down there. So let's go ahead and remove all those screws and then we'll pop the bottom cover off. Alright, if this video helps you out, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, if you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on those as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. Looks like one of these screws kind of is different from the rest. It's probably one screw got lost and was replaced with another. But yeah, alright, let's go ahead and continue removing all these screws. We'll pop the bottom cover off. Alright, so I did make videos of this model for taking it apart, redoing thermal paste and all that other stuff. But for this one, again, we're going to be replacing the charge port, so I'm not going to be explaining all the other internal components like I usually do in my videos. So let's go ahead and pop this open. Alright, so lift that up. Usually I'll get my fingernails in here and I'll push on the palm rest just like this. Don't push on the touchpad area, just the palm rest. You can see it pops open. Alright, once you get that open, close it. I get my fingers in between and then I push with my thumb down here. And then we got to get this out. So on this one, you have to kind of lift from here. Okay, there you go. We're going to rotate over here and get this side as well. Okay, so pull that. And then same thing, we're going to go over here. You can see the plastic's actually all brittle and kind of breaking here, so I'm a little worried it might fall apart. We're going to lift up and kind of wiggle this. Okay, and it looks like it's caught a little bit over here as well. So go over here. And then same thing, get in the gap and pull up. Let's see here. Is it going? Okay. It's kind of stuck. We're going to have to work our way over. And lift up as we go. Okay, there we go. So now we got the bottom cover off. We're going to set that aside. Okay, next thing we're going to do is remove the battery. Okay, again, I'm not really going to go over every single component and stuff like that because I do have another video showing that. So if that's what you're looking for, again, I have other ones showing like the RAM, SSD, everything. Okay, in this case, we're just going to be disconnecting what we need to pull the motherboard out. Hopefully I don't need to pull the heatsink off to get the motherboard out, but it looks like I might have to. Okay. So we'll get those out. Alright, now we can go ahead and lift this up. And then, oh, one more screw here. Okay. Alright, now that we got all those screws up, we should be able to lift up. I'm going to get underneath with my finger to grab the cable, pinch it. And I'll pinch from the top as well, and then wiggle side to side to pull that battery out. There we go. Alright, we're going to have to remove the SSD here. Just one screw. Pops up at an angle. You can go ahead and pull this out. That is an M.2 PCIe NVMe. Alright, what else? We got the keyboard connector here. I'm going to flip that latch up. And there's some adhesive here holding it that might make it a little tricky to remove. But there you go. You can use that, pull that back. Then we got the CMOS BIOS RTC real-time clock battery. Actually, I should probably be zooming in a little bit to show this better. Okay, and we're going to disconnect that battery. I just use my fingernails at the wings of it and wiggle and pull it out. Right, we got this connector here. We're going to flip that latch up, and then we're going to pull that out. Alright, this is held down with some adhesive. We're probably going to have to use some isopropyl alcohol or something to get under there and pull it out. And oh no, we are going to have to take the whole heatsink out. That sucks. Alright. So. Okay. Alright, let's zoom out here. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to take the whole heatsink out to do this because there's some screws hidden under here for the fan. Yeah, so let's go ahead and take the heatsink screws out. Oh, one other thing, let's actually open the laptop and drain the power. We're going to hold the power button for at least 15 seconds, all right, to drain any residual power. This will make it a lot safer to work on, especially since we're going to be completely disassembling this laptop, or not really completely, but pulling the whole motherboard out. Okay, take those extra 15 seconds and it could save you from destroying your entire laptop. Okay, pop these out. These are held in with some washers, so if the screw doesn't kind of go all the way, you might want to start with another one. Okay. Go ahead and get these out. Okay, and once we get these screws, hopefully we can lift the heatsink out. Okay, you might have to wiggle it side to side. Oops, let me zoom out here. You might have to wiggle it side to side. Be careful with this because these fins are are fragile. Sorry, be gentle. So you might have to like wiggle from here, but whatever works. And we're gonna go ahead and carefully lift up here. All right, and we'll flip this over and move that out of the way. We're probably gonna have to redo the thermal paste because that looks like some older paste. And yeah, all right. Let's go ahead and peel this stuff out. Okay. And hopefully the only issue is with the charge port because they're having issues charging. Let's go ahead and set that aside. All right, so we're gonna get the screws out for the fans now. One screw here. Oops. And one screw here. Okay, remove the fan. There's the wings. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle as you pull. And there we go. Okay, first fan out. Then we're gonna have to get the other fan. Same idea, 2 screws. Actually 3 screws on this side. I'm gonna have to also clean up the fans because it's dusty. So why not? Alright, then we'll wiggle this as well, just like this. Okay, and we can set that aside. And it's actually not too dusty inside. Let me brush it off to the side real quick. Okay, clean up that fan. Basically, I'm just holding this and brushing it like that, if you're wondering how I'm cleaning the fan. Okay, so we'll clean up the other fan. All right. Set the fans aside. Okay, we got these that we need to disconnect. So the speakers, they're actually just held in with little rubber pieces that you can lift up. But underneath, okay, it looks like we're only gonna need to disconnect one cable. I'm gonna push this back in. All right, so we're gonna flip this latch and pull this out. This is for the touchpad. The touchpad actually has another cable going into this board down here, and then that all goes to the motherboard with that. Alright, so we're going to have to peel this out. Again, we're probably going to have to use some isopropyl alcohol because it is stuck on there with some adhesive. So I'm going to use this and some isopropyl alcohol to get it out. So we're going to get underneath a little bit, put a little drop there, and then we should be able to get underneath. Okay, a little more. Alright, and as we get under the adhesive here, it really doesn't want to peel up, jeez. Okay, we're gonna need more. Get that under there. Wow, this really doesn't want to come up. Come on. Why is it stuck so strong here? Okay, this side's coming out. Let's put a little adhesive or isopropyl alcohol there. just slowly working our way under this cable. You don't want to work too fast. You don't want to pierce it. Okay. It's almost there. All right, there we go. Okay. Also, there's a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive connector there. Oh, looks like this fan, the plastic broke. Huh. All right, so there's a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive adapter here. I don't know where the connector is, but there's the little latch here to connect it. I feel like, I think on some laptops they package that in the box and people don't know, so they throw it away. So that's probably what happened with the SATA adapter. So if you needed to add a second hard drive and you threw yours away, it's probably gone. Alright, what is that? That's the LCD LVDS connector here. So the LCD LVDS connector goes along this. We're going to flip this latch up, and that's going to be very tough to remove. I don't know. Let's see. Let's try with this tool. Okay. Sorry, let me zoom out for you. Zoom in a little bit for you. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and pick at this a little and pick at this. You do have to lift it slightly, so this tool, it kind of lifts the cable slightly up and then lets me pull it out. Okay. All right, and the reason is it has these little wings that get caught on the raised bumps here. Okay. All right, so there we go. Get that out of the way. What else? There's a lot more connectors here. We got to remove the speaker connector and the wireless antennas here. Okay, so we're gonna peel this up. And now we have access to the wireless antennas. And the black wire goes to the black arrow, white or gray wire goes to the white arrow. We're gonna go under the tails and just pull straight up, just like that. Okay. Same thing with this side, under the tail and pull straight up. You can see how easy it comes out. All right, then we got the speaker connector here. Same thing with the wings. Just get in there. I just use my fingernails and then just wiggle side to side and just keep wiggling, and eventually it should pop out. You can see. Okay. Wow, this one's stuck in there really tight. Come on. I'm gonna have to use my thumbnails. They're stronger. And also, you can also just push it side to side instead of pulling it. So if you grab and you just go side to side like this, wiggling it, that helps get it out. But you can see this one is super stuck in there. I don't know. And I'm doing it at a weird angle to try and keep this in view of the camera. Let me rotate it so I can work on it easier. Okay, maybe you guys can still see. Yeah. Okay, and there we go. It wiggled out. It just took quite a bit. All right, so there we go. What else? Is there a screw holding it down here? Okay, so underneath the wireless card, there's actually a screw. So we do need to pull the wireless card out. Take the one screw out. It pops up at an angle. And then you can go ahead and grab this and pull it out. Once you get that, you can see there's a screw hidden under there. We're gonna have to remove that. They actually have a little arrow pointing to where the screw goes. So if you took out a bunch of screws and you're not sure, just look for the arrows. You can see there's another one down here. Let me actually zoom out so you can see the entire thing at the same time, hopefully. Okay, so get that. There's one screw down here. Second one. All right, we got all of those, and then I think there's just the two. Actually, there's a hidden screw under here. So make sure you get that out as well. Get this entire Lenovo sticker off. Usually it just crumbles and it's not going to come out. Let's see here. Yeah, it's not going to come out. Okay, well, get that out of the way. Then we'll get this screw out. This tape is kind of in the way, so we're going to move that over. Alright, so we got that one. And then you got these two screws. Oops, sorry. Did you even see? There was this screw, so I moved this out of the way to get it. And then we got two more screws here. That one and this one. And this metal bracket also comes out, so be careful with that. Alright. Again, if you were messing with this cable, hopefully you did the battery power drain, otherwise you might have fried your whole system. Alright, so let's see now. Hopefully that's enough that we can lift the whole board out. So make sure this isn't sticking back down. I'm going to carefully lift this, double check, go very slowly, make sure you didn't leave anything connected. Alright, and I'm going to carefully pull this. The speaker cable's kind of caught in here, so we got to make sure to unroute it. And oh, it looks like they hit a cable underneath. So if you just ripped it out, you would have ripped your keyboard backlight connector, so that's why you got to go slow. Alright, we'll flip this latch, and there you go, this connector comes out as well. So now we have access to the bottom here, and this looks like it's going to be a huge pain to remove. Let's see what we can do. This specific one, I'm probably going to end up just chopping up this piece and then pulling each individual peg out using a soldering iron, because yeah, that's not gonna come out easily. So the charge port connection is loose. Hopefully after replacing the charge port, we're gonna get a good solid fix here. But yeah, we do need to chop up this charge port to make it easier to remove, because it's so close to all these other little components. If I use my usual hot air soldering station, like, these are probably gonna get all messed up. So we're gonna move that aside. Okay, and let me go get something that I can use to chop this thing up. All right, hopefully we can chop it up. I'll be back. Oh, one other thing, you do want to make sure to check your charge port, the new one, is the same, because sometimes they look very similar but they're not the same. So this will go in like that, and it looks right. Okay, so yeah, now we're gonna have to try and get this out, but this is gonna be a huge pain. And one other thing, let's also clean off the thermal paste so we don't have to worry about it getting on everything. Okay, so let's get a piece of paper towel, and we're just gonna wipe off this stuff here. And usually I'll do this upside down over a trash can, because you can see the stuff kind of flakes off. So I'm going to do that, clean this whole thing up, and then we'll be back with the tool. Alright, back. So you can see this is all cleaned up now. Okay, we're going to zoom in. You also want to be very careful with static with this if you didn't already know. Okay, and now let's go ahead and see about cutting this. I'm going to use these, and we're going to try and just break up this port. Okay, let me see here. Alright, well, we're going to hold it up like this, and we're going to break it. The hard part is going to be the metal piece that we need to break. This plastic part isn't as bad, so we're going to just cut like that, and we're going to break this off. Okay. So I don't know how we're going to cut through this metal part, but we'll try. Oh, actually, it cut open pretty easily. Okay. Can bend this metal piece out of the way. You want to be careful if you're bending this, that you're holding onto the port and not the motherboard, because you don't want to be bending the motherboard up. All right. You don't want pressure going into the motherboard. Okay, so this metal piece, yeah, it's going to be tough to get out. It felt like it cut, but not really. Okay, so break this piece some more. So just cut over here. using broken bits over here. Okay. Sorry if it's hard to see what's going on. Trying to keep the stuff from flying all over the place. Okay, let's see here. Alright. Cut this piece off. Oh, that's going to be bad. It's bending up in the motherboard area. So I'm going to hold over here and then try and break it this way. Okay. Toss that. All right. Okay. What's happening up there? Okay, we got all this plastic over here that we need to kind of cut and break off. Oh, that actually separated from that metal pin. Actually, no, it curls down. Okay. So what we're doing is we're basically making it so we can pull each pin individually. So that way as we heat it, we can just heat each individual pin and not worry about the rest. Also, if we're able to cut this metal stuff off, then it will make it so that it has less thermal mass, so it's easier to heat it up. And that's why I'm trying to cut this stuff off. Sorry if you're unable to see. Okay. There we go. See if we can break this whole plastic area up into pieces. Hopefully I'm getting it all in view. Okay. Basically cutting all this plastic out if we can. It's not really plastic, but you know what I mean. It's more like an insulating material. There we go. Got a bunch more of it out. Okay. I do still have this giant one here. Let's see here. How am I going to get that out? Even in view. there. Almost there. Okay. Get that sleeve off. Oh, this one the solder wasn't even holding. Actually, both sides fell out. So both these sides the solder wasn't holding well. You can see they just fell out. Okay, now we basically have each one of these pins that we just need to get out. So hopefully that will be pretty easy. We just got to heat it and then pull them out. And maybe we can also heat it from this side. Okay. So I'm gonna get a box or something to put it on so it's higher. We'll get the soldering iron and then we'll work on pulling that all out. Clean up my desk a little bit. Okay. Alright. And let me get a box. I'll be back with the soldering iron and the box. Alright, so here we go. We got those pins. I'm gonna try and pull them up from this side and heat them. So let's let the soldering iron heat up some more. I'm gonna put some water on the little sponge so I can clean it up. And then we'll see what we got. Hopefully it won't be too difficult to pop this out. Okay, let me clean up the soldering iron real quick. Okay, so we're gonna grab here and we're gonna heat it up and hopefully we can get it hot enough that we can pop it out. Might need to add some new solder. It doesn't seem to want to budge. So let's get some new solder to put on there. Might need to add some flux as well, but let's see. This up over here and add some solder. See if it even gets hot enough to add solder. Might have to add it to the soldering iron. Yep. There we go. Okay. Now it's applying the solder to this, so we should hopefully be able to heat it enough. Wow, it's really stuck in there. Come on. Heat is going directly into the pin. Solder's melted on it. And it still doesn't want to pop out. That's crazy. Come on. Okay. Let's try adding a little flux and see if that helps at all. It'll help the solder mix with the old one. Alright, now let's see. Still nothing. Jeez. That's crazy. It doesn't want to come out at all. Okay, let's try from the other side. Let's see if we can get any luck with that. It doesn't want to melt at all. Let's try melting from this side. And we gotta be very careful because all the other components are there. Might have to put a little flux on it there. Okay, let's try putting a little flux on it on this side. Okay, it's coming. It moved a little. Come on. Wow, this doesn't want to come out at all. Jeez. Come on. It's wiggling a little bit, but it's not coming out. Come on. Why is it wiggling? Oh, there we go. Okay. Finally got one out. We got a bunch more to go. Hopefully they're not all going to be that difficult. Let's try doing the other ones from the other side as well. But it looks like they're going to be a pain. Let's see here. Jeez, if every pin is like that, I don't know. Come on. Let's melt off this other stuff. Okay, I think we're gonna have to apply solder to both sides and then kind of wiggle and pull it out because it doesn't seem to want to come out. Okay, oh, there we go. This one actually is wiggling really easily. There we go. That's what we want. That's how it should come out. All right, let's see if this side does the same. Okay, this side's coming out easily. Go. That's what we want. That's how it should work. I see it bubbling. Might need a little more solder for this one. Okay, let's add a little solder to this one. Oh, you can see now it just wobbled really easily. There we go. Alright, and the last one. Okay, let's add a little solder to this as well. This one seems stubborn as well. When it gets heated, this solder's melt. Oh, there we go. That's what we want. Okay, now we got all of those out. We're gonna have to clean it up. I usually have to use a little solder sucker vacuum thing to get the solder out. So like one of these. I can try cleaning it up with this copper stuff. I usually don't use this as much. This copper stuff. This is the copper wicking, which is usually what people use to get the solder out. Let's try it actually real quick. And this is basically just copper with flux inside the wicking, I believe. So we're gonna heat this and try to melt that off. This one I think is, for the most part, already clean on its own. I might have to apply a little. Okay. Yeah, see, no, it's making it worse. I don't know. Maybe I just don't know how to use that stuff. Okay, anyways, I'm going to use the solder vacuum thing. I have to do this off camera because I have to hang it over the edge of my desk, and I don't have a way to get my camera to record that well. So I'm gonna try and clean up and I'll be back. Alright, so as you can see, I got most of it out. We're gonna now clean it up with some isopropyl alcohol to make sure everything is clear. So I'm gonna get a little isopropyl alcohol on here. Okay, you can also put the isopropyl alcohol directly on a paper towel, but I'm gonna put it on there, and then I'm gonna try and clean this up. Okay. And that will hopefully allow me to clear the area for, let me put it on the paper towel actually, for new solder. All right. All right, clean that. Let's flip it over and clean the other side as well. Okay. Clean off all the burnt flux there. It's a little rough, so we're gonna have to clean it up a little more. I might have to remove a little more of the solder. Let's go ahead and clean it up and see what's left there. Okay. Okay. So I need to look closer. Okay, there's a little bit more on this one that I need to clean up. And then this, we'll just heat this up a little and see if we can get the solder out of the way. Okay. Clean it up. Okay. I don't think I can use the solder sucker here. Yeah, no, it won't reach. So let me clean it up a little more and then I'll be back. Alright, so we got it cleaned up. Next, we got to get the new charge port in place. So this kind of just slides in. Also, there's these plastic pieces that extend out, so you can't just go from the bottom and slide it up. You have to actually go in midway, slide it in, and then get that in, okay? So we're going to push that up, take a look from both sides. Alright, so you can see on this side as well. You want to make sure that it's flush down here. Okay, and then these pins, I'm going to push them in as well because it seems like they're not going in quite all the way. Let me actually see if using like a small flathead screwdriver will help with that. So I'm going to hold the board up and I'm going to just push on the little legs here. Just to get them down into place. Make sure it's all the way in because I don't want these coming loose and coming up. And we're gonna have to put more solder on these legs out here this time than the factory because the factory didn't, well, it's probably not they didn't put enough solder, it's probably because they didn't use the flux properly. Okay, so now that we got those all in, we're gonna flip this over and we gotta get the solder into place. Again, I'm gonna actually put some flux there first to make sure that, to make sure that it goes in properly. So I'm going to put a little flux on that side and a little on this side. I don't know if my head's going to get in the way. If it does, I'm sorry. Okay, so now that we got that, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to get some solder on the soldering iron, and the flux is going to help just pull it in. Normally there's flux already in the solder wire, but to make it easier, I put the flux here, and then I just have the solder on the soldering iron, and then that way when I touch the solder to it, it should flow. Oops, I didn't put enough solder. Then it will just flow onto the components here. There we go. Oh, it's only partially flowing. What is going on? Let's put a little more flux. Okay. Alright, and let's heat it up again, put a little more solder. Okay, hold that up into place. There we go. Hopefully you can see it flowed in. Alright, and now we have that soldered into place. I'm going to put a little more flux there, and we're just going to melt it on again to make sure. Okay. Alright, that should be good. I'm probably gonna have to rotate this to make it easier for me to work on. Let me see here so we can look at the other side. We can probably put some more to get it to flow, or I can even just solder from the other side as well. But let's see here. So we got this one as well. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing. Just put some solder onto the soldering iron. And then I'm gonna hold this up and touch the thing to there. Gotta be careful because the LED. I'm actually gonna have to probably do this one. Let's see, can I do it here? Because I'm left-handed, so it's hard to do it at this weird angle. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this one outside of camera view because I can't hold it in that direction. So let me do that real quick and I'll be back. Alright, so here you can see, got both sides. We are gonna have to clean it up a bit. Now we can add solder the normal way. So we'll heat it up and then we'll push the solder onto the melted pad. Alright, and get that flowed in. Let's check the bottom. The solder actually doesn't flow through to the other side on this one. So let me try putting a little more flux, and then we're probably gonna have to solder from the other side as well, just to make sure it gets a nice solid fit. Okay. There we go, that one's good. Now we've got to make sure to do this side as well. Sorry if I'm going out of view. Yeah, and it's very difficult to do this and be careful because the LED there. Alright. Okay, so we got that all soldered up. I don't know if you were able to see, hopefully you were. Let's actually flip this over now and take a look from the other side. So, you can actually see solder didn't really go through to this side. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna heat it up and apply some solder there as well. So, and usually people don't actually solder both sides, they just solder one, but I want to make sure, since it was breaking last time, that it gets a good solid connection. Okay. So I'm going to put a little flux there. And they were too unsteady, I was getting it on the little edge there. Maybe more. Okay. Alright, let's get this in. There we go. Now we got it filled up. A little more solder. Alright, let's get this side. Let's get a little flux on there. Okay. And we'll get this side. solder on there. Solder really doesn't want to flow onto this for some reason. Interesting. The solder doesn't want to stick on there. Let's try a little more flux. Because if the solder doesn't stick, that means it's not getting a good solid connection. Might be this one side just isn't going to stick, but we'll do what we can. Yeah, the solder's not wanting to flow onto this, so we might have to just leave that one as is and only solder from the other side. Alright, well, looks like solder doesn't want to go onto that side. We got a little bit. Let's see here. Try a little bit more, but it doesn't seem to want to go for the most part. I think it worked now. Alright, there we go. And actually now some of the solder went to that copper pad, copper grounding pad, so let's see here. Try to clean that off there. Okay. Make sure it's not shorted to it. Alright, and I'm going to try pulling up this extra solder that I put on there. Alright, that's about as much as we're going to be able to get out. Let's clean that one up. Sorry if it's going out of view. Yeah. Okay. So let's put alcohol there, clean that up, clean this up. See here. The rest, so it's not just completely grounded to that. Flux on there. Good. Clean this up a little bit more. Alright, gonna push these pins back down. Let's flip this over and get the tiny ones all soldered up. These are going to be somewhat of a pain because they're so small, but let's see what we can do. Okay. Oh, hopefully you can see. Okay, there we go. Right, there we go, it's working. Definitely gonna need to add flux to these, but it's going. Okay. There we go. Oh. There we go. Perfect. And the last one. This one's a little awkward because it's like sideways. But there we go. Alright, we got all of that. We're going to add a little flux and then melt it some more. Okay. Add some flux to all of them. Alright, let's go ahead now and melt these. Go. Alright, there we go. Now let's get it cleaned up and then we'll check the other side as well. Alright, get a bunch of isopropyl alcohol on this paper towel. And we'll kind of wipe this stuff off. This side needs a little cleaning as well. Okay, there you go. Let's melt them up a little more now. Okay. Good. This one's making like a little peak, like that. Okay, there we go. Clean up a little more. Brush off any gunk. This side, oh, this side has a lot where the LED is, so let's clean that. Alright, get a little more. Then clean this up. Alright, there's that. Brush away the gunk. Let's flip this over, check the other side. Alright, wonder if I should even, let's see if we can get some solder on this side as well. At least a little bit. Okay. Heat that up. It's really hard to get this melted enough to get that in. Okay. Okay, this pin is definitely good. Okay, that one should be good, and okay. Clean that up. I'm gonna have to add some flux down there as well. Alright, let's see if we can now melt that in place. There we go. That one worked nicely. This one's good. Perfect. Alright. Oops, was I not even in view? Wait, where is it? Oh. Well, we got that all soldered in, so let's go ahead now and reassemble this thing. I'm going to clean up my soldering iron real quick. And then clean off the excess flux there. And then we'll reassemble the computer. Okay. So let's clean off the excess flux here. You're gonna get a bunch more of that in. Close that up. Okay, and we'll clean this. Okay, let's brush this off, clean off any residue. Alright, that should be a very good solder connection. So let me go grab the other piece and then we'll reassemble this. Alright, I'll be back. All right, I'm back. I did clean up this a little bit more, but yeah, you can't really get it all off. It's basically stuck because that's copper. Okay, so we're gonna now get all of this reassembled. Zoom out here. Okay, so the tricky part is making sure all the wires and cables that are supposed to be back on top end up back on top. So we're gonna get this back into place. Okay. All right. Also, oh, there's a hidden like little hole here that this post goes into. So it might make it easier if you pull the little metal cover off so you can get under here and then pop this off. So that way you can see what you're doing. Okay, then we'll get this in, and yes, that's the RAM. Okay, we'll get this cable out of the way, and then these two cables are the ones that are kind of wanting to go underneath. Right. Oh. Make sure the CMOS BIOS battery connector isn't trapped under there. Okay, hopefully we're not missing anything else. Get that all lined up. Oops, now this cable went back underneath. Okay, line everything up. Good. Right, we're gonna get this cable back in first, make sure that latches up. And line that up. Get that in, and then slide your finger over to latch it. I'm gonna pull this back. Uh-oh, the adhesive's stuck already. Okay, pull that back and stick that down. Okay. Alright, I guess that's not going down all the way. Let's see, I'm gonna have to peel it up again. Might need to use isopropyl alcohol again. Yeah, this cable's very annoying. Alright, let's peel this back up. Also, the keyboard is held in with melted plastic, so it's not an easy to replace keyboard. So if you're going to replace the keyboard, you'll probably want to replace the entire palm rest assembly. Alright, there we go. Now we can pull that over and stick that. And it's probably not going to stick because of the isopropyl alcohol, but once it dries, it should be okay. Okay, so we're going to have to pull that in. Alright, let's start getting screws back in here. So hopefully I can remember where each one went. Alright, we have one down here with this arrow. One over here with this arrow. Oh, there weren't that many screws, so it should be simple. Okay, gotta get this adhesive back out of the way. Okay, let's get the speaker connector back into place. Line that up. And move that tape out of the way. Okay, get that all lined up and pinch that back in. There we go. Okay, then we have this metal bracket that was on top of the charge port. We'll get that in. So this is why it doesn't really matter. This metal bracket is kind of grounding everything to each other. So there we go. Alright, then we had the one screw here. If you want, you can peel this up. Oops. Have to peel that back up. Okay, so that it goes underneath. Then tighten that screw down. There we go. Push that in. Alright, give me a second. Okay, let's get these screws in. So we got this one here, and the other screw down here. Okay, tighten that all down. Alright, there we go. Sorry, I know it's zoomed out quite a bit, but alright, let's go ahead and get the LCD LVDS connector back in. Okay, that back in can be a little tricky because it kind of needs to raise back up the same way we took it out. So we kind of rotate it. Okay, the tweezers help. slide your finger over the top to latch it down. Okay, now we need the wireless antennas. So get this. This tape is annoying. I don't even know why they have that tape there. It's not necessary, but it was there, so I'm just going to leave it. All right, push that back in. And let's get the screw in first so it's not as difficult. Okay. Get that screw down. There we go. Then we're going to get these cables in. Click that in. The other one. And click that in. You want to make sure they're lined up when you go to push it down. And the way you know is when you actually line it up, it will get caught on that little circle piece. Okay. Alright, we'll stick this back down. Okay, what else we got? We got the CMOS BIOS battery connector here. So obviously just line it up and then pinch it back in. If you're replacing it, make sure red wire is going out towards this side, the black wire is going towards the RAM. Let's actually also, oh no! We forgot the keyboard backlight connector. Are you kidding? Oh, I hate this design. Okay, we're gonna have to take this whole thing back out. Just because of that one cable. Otherwise, you won't have your keyboard backlight, so take it all back out. It would have sucked if I did the thermal paste as well. That would have been really bad. Okay. Good thing I didn't do the thermal paste yet. Get this back up. Okay, get these two screws out. That's annoying. I almost already finished putting everything else back in before I noticed. If you're super lazy and it's your own computer, then I guess you can live without backlight, but this isn't my computer, it's the customer's, so I got to fix it. Right? Oops. Okay, let's get this in. CMOS BIOS battery. I gotta get this back out. Am I gonna have to use isopropyl alcohol? Okay, no, it didn't stick. Good. Did I miss anything? The speaker connector. This one's tough. Okay, there we go. It's a little bit easier than last time. Alright. Let's get this up and flip it back over. And let's get this cable back in. Yeah, that's super annoying. Why did they design it that way? Is it just to be annoying? Most likely. Okay. Get that in, latch it down, make sure it's good. Okay. This cable, you want to make sure that you kind of hold that latch when you flip it over so you don't accidentally unlatch it while getting it in. Okay, and then we'll get this all back lined up. So annoying, just because of that one dumb cable. Okay, get everything else back up. Make sure that you're not trapping any of the cables here. Go. Alright, line it all up, drop it all back down, get this all back in. Push that back over. Get that stuck back down. This back into place. keyboard or touchpad, trackpad. Okay, CMOS BIOS, keyboard. Okay, make sure that's in all the way. Latch it over. All right, let's get these screws back in again. And this time, I think it's the last time. Okay, get this back lined up, and then pinch this back in. Get this screw back in. Okay. Get these back in. Go. Get the tape back on top. Stick that back down. Alright. Don't forget this one. That back on top. Get this one on top. Get this screw in and this screw in. Alright, did we get everything back in? I believe so. Now we got to do the thermal paste. Alright, so get some isopropyl alcohol and just clean this up a little bit. There we go. We'll get this all lined back up. Okay. All right. Oh, we do need to clean this off. I'm just going to use some paper towel over the trash can and some isopropyl alcohol. So let me do that and I'll be back. All right, I'm back. So we cleaned this all up. We're going to now have to put actually the fans back first because remember they hid the fan screws underneath. Very annoying, stupid design, but that's what they did. Also take note, if you're replacing the fans, the connector, you can see the pins through this. That's the way you want it. You don't want to put it upside down where it's solid, okay? So make sure you put it this way. Line it up and pinch it together, all right? All right, and this had this piece here, which I don't know, it's not holding anything anymore because it's the plastic's broken, but we'll put it there anyways. So we'll get this screw in and this screw in, and we'll kind of just use that, I guess, to hold it. There we go. More like to align the thing a little bit. Go, and there we go. Sorry, there we go. All right, then we got the other fan over here. Same thing. This one has 3 screws. Line that up and pinch it in. Same thing, you want the metal pins showing facing up. All right, we'll get the screw here, screw over here. Over here, and we'll tighten that in. Okay. All right, what else do we got? let's see. Oh, let's put the SSD back in over here. Okay. SSD here. Make sure this is out of the way. Get that in. Goes in at an angle. Push it in. It clicks. All right. Lower this down. Get the screw in. All right, there we go. Let's zoom out here and let's get the thermal paste and the thing back on. So this, since it's a small die, you don't need too much. We're just gonna put basically like a grain of rice there. Okay, that's actually plenty. And we're just gonna shape it. A long grain of rice. All right, this stuff gets smushed down super thin, so you don't need a crazy thick amount. And the reason I make it like this is so the air pockets get pushed all towards the outside. So there's that. This one's going to obviously need more because it's much bigger. So let's go ahead and get that. Okay, that's putty. And we're gonna blob this up as well. Kind of shape it. Just like that. Okay. Okay, so there we go. All right, so here you can see what it looks like. A blob like that in there. Okay, now we just need to get the heatsink back on. The heatsink does have like numbered screws, or it should. So we're gonna put those in order. Oh, there's some dust actually caught in the fins here, so I'm gonna clean that out real quick. Okay, just to get it a little cleaner. Because you don't really take this piece off very often. Okay, so we're gonna line this up. This piece, I don't think this rubber piece is even supposed to be there. I think it's supposed to be stuck up there, but somehow it fell down there, so I don't know, but we're gonna leave it. Okay, get this all lined up. All right, and then we just gotta get the screws in. So they are numbered, and I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So number 1 is this one. I like to twist it until I hear it click, so I know it's in the right place. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Go to the second one. 1, 2, 3. Hear it click. 1, 2, 3. Number 4. 1, 2, 3. Number 5. 1, 2, 3. Number 6. 1, 2, 3, and number 7. 2, 3. Then we'll go back. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's tighten it all the way down. Okay. 5, 6, and 7. All right, so we got everything reassembled. Let's get the battery back in, and then we're gonna plug it in, and hopefully everything is good. Otherwise, I don't know, we might have done that all for nothing. All right, we're gonna pinch the connector back into place. Get the battery all lined up. Get these screws back in. This one. Okay, this one. And let's actually test it before we put all the screws, or before we put the bottom cover back on. I'm gonna have to get, the customer had 2 chargers, so we'll try both of them. And we want to make sure that the charge light stays on. All right. So let me get the chargers and I'll be back. See you guys in a bit. All right, so charger number 1. Let's take a look. Flip this up and we're gonna plug this in, and well, it's actually super tight fit, and I see the LED light in there. I don't know if you can see that. There you go. You can see that light is on. And is it? Oh, I was feeling air. Oh, actually, this light is also on, so you can see both. Okay, and then when I unplug it, geez, that's tight fit. Oh, that reminds me. I did modify these, so let me peel off that stuff here. So, okay, I'm gonna have to peel this stuff off here. So let me do that, I'll be back. All right, let's test it again. And, okay, the light is here, so it's definitely going on. It's hard to see. Was there always that foam thing there? Huh. Oh, because the light comes up through this. Okay, so plug that in, and yeah, we got a nice solid connection. Unplug it and the light goes off. Okay, we're gonna test the other charger now. This one's all wrapped up. Do I need to, I might have to peel off the tape on this one as well. So, oh, this one doesn't have that mod. Okay, so let's test this. Okay, so plug that in. And, oops, sorry, I forgot the lights on top. And there you go. You can see the white light. Yep. All right, there we go. So that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and get the bottom cover back on, and then we should be good to go. So I'm going to zoom back out. Okay, and let's go ahead and get this back together. So line that up. Okay, pinch that all. You can see they have all this broken plastic here, so kind of a little bit worrying, but there we go. Get everything back in, and let's get all these screws back together. And that's pretty much it. Again, hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, again, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. If you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then like and comment on them as well, because that's what the algorithm likes to see. Other than that, yeah, you're welcome to stay as I get the rest of these screws back in, but that's pretty much all there is to it. Alright, let's get these last few screws in. And we should be good to go. 3 more. Last one. Oh, I noticed this thing is also punched in a bit. I don't know if I can pull that out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm going to try and pull this out because I feel it might be pushing on his speakers, which, oh, this plastic is super brittle. It just broke. Okay, well, we'll pull that because it's better to have that removed than to have that pushing on the speakers. So there we go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Alright, you can see the Lenovo Legion light is on, and his screen is on. Alright, see you all. Let's drop this. Bye.